Justin Mingo, born and raised in Ogden. Never left Ogden. I mean, like, we lived in Far West for 10 years, but you know, suburban life. I've been married for 23 years. Yeah. And I have two kids, 20-year-old daughter and 15-year-old son. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty unexciting life, you know, but I like it that way. I like routine. So I've got a pretty good life. I fix the insides of cars. I do upholstery repair, reupholstery work. So I kind of split time between I've got a little shop in my basement where I sew, put in, you know, new pieces of material and car seats, and then I go to people's houses and go to car dealerships and fix cosmetic problems with the insides of their cars and boats, things like that. So I've been doing that for 25 years. So that's, like I say, man, I'm steady. I've only been trail running exclusively for probably the last 4 or 5 years, if even that long. Really, we moved up here about 4 years ago, and so that's when I, like, now the only time I spend on the pavement is from my front door to either 27th Street or 29th Street. And other than that, it's maybe crossing a road here or there. Otherwise, I'm all trail. Before that, I split time. When we lived out in Far West, I would run from my house to the trails, which was always, 5-mile time on pavement to get to the trails, and did not love that. Or I'd, drive to a trailhead. But now I fell in love with the concept of trail running when I first read or listened to Born to Run. And I listened to it while training for one of the Ogden Marathon times I ran Ogden Marathon, which of course is all road. And I hated every minute of training on the road. And I'm listening to this book about these amazing adventures on trails. I'm like, I grew up backpacking and hiking. Why am I not running on the trails? And I hardly knew the trail network. And so, this is dumb. I'm just gonna start running the trails. But I was still splitting time between road and trail. Mixed in some ultra marathons that were trail. And then once we moved up here, the transition was complete. So now it is strictly trails. And they maintain, I mean, they stay fresh because it's every time I run, I could run I've run some of these routes over 100 times, And every time I go, oh, I haven't seen that before. So everything changes all year. And it's just like a new adventure, even for a little 3-mile loop. I've struggled with weight over the years. When both the times my wife was pregnant with our kids, I think I gained pound for pound with her, and then had to lose it, and then some. So that's one reason. It's just kind of an awareness that I don't want to go down that road, and so I've had to lose up to 40 pounds more than once. But the other reason I think that is even more, that's more important, is that I've struggled with depression for most of my adult life, and I found that, and especially trail running, for some people it's just running is all they need to do. That doesn't do it for me. I have to be running on the trails. and it's a leveler. That's my medication, and it keeps me, you know, where I need to be. And teaching, like weightlifting, I don't enjoy. I do it because I know I'm supposed to. It's one of those things that's obligatory, especially for a runner, because we just get skinnier and look icky, you know, if you don't try to maintain some muscle mass. And then I love teaching the spin classes. I like the group dynamic. I like getting, you know, just seeing the faces and see how hard people work. Plus it's like this high endorphin type. I mean, it's just high intensity. So that I like, and that's really good for my moods too. But I think being just on the trails, being in the mountains is, if I didn't do that, I'm sure I would need to be medicated, which is fine for those that need that. For me, I've been able to not, because of the time trail running. Being an avid runner with family balance, I've got a really supportive family. My wife is great. She knows I need to be out there to run anyway, because it benefits the whole family if I'm in a better state of mind. My kids are older now, so you know they don't need quite as much of that hands-on time. Also, my family together, we spend a lot of time together doing volunteer work every week. So there's a lot of togetherness anyway. And usually by the end of a day, we're looking to be apart. So that's kind of a good excuse to, you know, to go for a run. The long runs on the weekends, I think, are maybe a little bit more where my wife is just really awesome and supportive of it. Because, you know, I mean, I'm not always gone like 6 hours on a weekend run, but sometimes I am, and she's just great to allow me to do that. So, but to put it in perspective though, like some runners are running 100 miles a week, and they're out there 20 hours a week. I'm not. I'm actually a fairly low mileage runner, so I'm not out there 10 or 20 hours a week doing it. I think just making sure I don't do too much, that's the other balance. I think the biggest thing is just take it slow. Like anybody that's started running with me, and there's a few people that have gotten into trail running, they've run with me or just, you know, asked for advice. I just say, especially people coming from road running, they don't equate. It's two different sports. You've got to be okay with getting home, and like, let's say you're an 8-minute mile runner, and you got to be okay with getting home and doing a 12-minute mile going, and not be demoralized by it. It's just different. Don't be afraid about hiking. Like, you can hike up the hills, especially initially. You slow down, hike them. And the cool thing is, like, you do a race, everybody hikes up the hills. Like, that's just what everybody does. And these are experienced runners, you know, marathoners, ultra marathoners. So you gotta just kind of take the pressure off and just go out and enjoy, slow down, enjoy the scenery. You don't have to keep your head down, and, you know, just take it easy, take pictures, and go home feeling like, oh, I saw some cool stuff today. And the other thing I would say is, and this is more technical, shorten your stride. Like, you cannot long stride on the trails. And I've seen people try to do it, and either they're highly inefficient, they're not enjoying themselves. It's okay to, I call it a pitter patter. Pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter. Just do, especially when you're going up a grade, just boom, 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 boom. Just don't be afraid to go short stride, stay up on the ball of your feet, and just get in a rhythm. And that's, has really helped me and some of the other runners too. Once they feel that, like, oh, okay, you know, just find a good rhythm and stick with it, and then hike when you need to.
Favorite color?
Green.
Favorite band?
Favorite modern band is Killers. Yeah, country band, Restless Heart. I grew up listening to country, so yeah. Indigo Girls as far as folk band. There you go.
Favorite song?
I Take My Chances, Mary Chapin Carpenter.
What was your first car?
The first car I owned, that I bought on my own, was a Subaru GL, 83 or an 84, forest green wagon. First car was a Tercel that my dad let me drive, but I claimed the Subaru as my first car. It was a good car.
First job?
Working for my dad, doing what I do now, really. And then telemarketing and janitorial. But yeah, summer jobs with my dad, learning how to do upholstery work.
Favorite restaurant?
Roosters and Tona. I have to split the two. We go back to Roosters like the first few months took the chance to open on 25th, and 25th was not a cool hip street. And then Kim lives just like a block from here, the owner, her and her husband. And then Tona has the best sushi ever, so.
Favorite food?
I like a lot of different foods. I like, if somebody said, what would you eat every day, or maybe a week straight, I could probably do sushi, because I don't know, I feel happy. Like there's a drug in there. I don't know if it's like seaweed or so maybe that. But otherwise, I don't know. I love good Mexican, like real authentic Mexican. I love eclectic stuff like they do at Roosters. Anything my wife is seriously the best cook. So anything she makes is just, she apologizes when she doesn't make something from scratch. Really? Apologize. We eat too good. She treats us really well.
Gels or bars?
So this is embarrassing. So you know what I've been eating lately? I have a really bad stomach, like racing stomach, training stomach. I drank Tailwind for quite a while, still do. So liquid, can't do gels. Gels jack me up. But I discovered that I can eat Snickers and like no gut bomb. So, you know, Snickers really satisfies.